Hello there, and welcome to my newest world record for Max Payne 3 New York Minute Hardcore. Heck yeah. This is a long time coming. I posted my first New York Minute Hardcore speedrun in July, and I was not initially intending for it to be a speedrun at the time. It was just a playthrough of New York Minute Hardcore because I felt like it, and I ended up beating the current world record, the fastest I was ever able to find. And if there was any doubt that I had the record before, I definitely have it now, because as you may have noticed from the title of this video, I beat my own record by 10 minutes. Which is crazy. Now this is actually finished attempt number 4. To this day, I've been doing occasional speedruns of Max Payne 3 New York Minute Hardcore still, and I have not yet run into a situation where I have gotten in slower time than my current record. So every time I have finished the speedrun so far, I've had good luck with setting new records. I've learned a couple things since the last speedrun, and I actually suggest that you watch it, even though it's not the record anymore. I said a lot of stuff that I don't really want to repeat here, stuff about how the game works internally, and things like, you know, how the game files are laid out that causes all of the crazy long load times in this game and all that kind of stuff. And I really recommend you check it out, because there is a lot of good information in there. You know, stuff that personally I find kind of neat. Stuff that you might find neat as well. But if you decided not to watch it, that's fine too. That there's going to be some stuff that I will have to repeat, because
Was I too late?
I mean, it's just part of the technical aspect of the speedrun. Speaking of, boy, I'm moving quick here. First chapter's almost over already. This chapter is actually very straightforward. You just pretty much hold W the whole time, and you can skip a bullet cam here by killing that last guy while Max is still talking. Sometimes the game will cut him off if you enter a bullet cam while he's narrating or talking, but other times it won't. And there's really no rhyme or reason to it, and it's different for like every checkpoint. So, I don't know. It's weird. I did a lot of experimenting in the time between the last video and this one, specifically on things like, you know, how the timer counts up. And I found out a lot of very interesting stuff. Like, for example, the New York Minute Hardcore timer, not the one in the top left that you see right now, but the one that counts how long you've been playing, the one that shows up at the end, that actually counts up in not quite real time. It actually counts up in the game's real time. So right now I'm going at normal speed, and so the counter is ticking up at, you know, 1 second per second of gameplay time. But the next time I go into bullet time, the timer that is counting up actually slows down to whatever the speed is when you're in bullet time. And it's interesting because it means that there's basically no time penalty for using bullet time like this for extended periods, because, you know, the timer only counts up as fast as time is moving in the game. And so stuff like this, when you're moving while you're in a bullet cam, that doesn't even matter because the timer is frozen. So basically, you'll be able to tell how quickly the timer is moving based on the clock in the top left, which is counting down. So you'll see me do a couple of different, like, tricks I didn't do last time in this one. Like, I avoided killing one guy there to avoid doing a bullet cam, which would slow Max down. At the time, I didn't know that it froze the timer. Now I know that, and in future speedruns I will go for all the bullet cams and stuff. But in this speedrun, you're going to see me avoiding them, which is a bad idea as it turns out. But it's fine, because it leaves me for some, leaves me with some room for improvement.
At least I was getting shot at by a middle-class psychopath. These guys weren't messing around. This place was like Baghdad with G-strings.
I've gotten to the point where I can recite this, like, I can recite almost the whole game, like with my eyes closed. And it's, a little embarrassing. Because again, I like this game, but I have also become very intimate with it since I set that first record and have started trying to improve my time. Let me check what my current playtime is for Max Payne 3 on Steam. Currently, I have 299 hours in Max Payne 3. It is like my second or third most played time game on Steam, which is pretty nuts. I really like this game, I don't know. It's just a lot of fun to play. It feels good. So there's a couple fun skips that I figured out here. You can kill that guy real quick so that he doesn't go down the stairs all the way, because he disappears behind the wall for a second and you can't shoot him. So if you immediately go into bullet time, you can save a couple seconds by, just shooting him. And this guy here, I've had varying levels of success shooting at the door before that guy comes out, but you can shoot through the door and that will kill him. Also, I missed it there, but you can shoot through that little gap and kill that one guy that pops out there, which, again, saves multiple seconds. And there's one more little skip here that is actually pretty substantial, and I don't remember if I get it or not in this video, but I do try it, I believe. Oh, nope, I missed it. Darn. So basically, that last guy there, he comes from around the corner, like while that second wave of 3 guys is filtering in, so you can just shoot through the fence and kill him before he even comes out. Which is pretty funny. It kind of spoils the ambush a little bit. This part, you can't speed this part up, because the gun does have a maximum range on it, which is weird. It's got a max range.
Either way, I needed to find Giovanna before they did.
So something else that's going to be different than in the previous speedrun video is I'm going to be sticking with like 1 or 2 hand automatic weapons. I am not going to be... Well, I guess I kind of will be in the later stages, but basically, I'm going to be trying not to use the 2-handed guns, if I can. I've learned that since they fire slower, and they reload slower, all they really do is slow you down if you switch to them, like, for good. So, in future speedruns, I will only be keeping them for, if I run out of ammo, which is very hard to do in this game, because, man, they give you a lot of bullets to go through. So I skipped killing a few guys there, and it didn't save me very much time, but it felt good to leave people to tell the story of Max Payne, the crazy slow-motion gunman. The man who moved faster than time itself. Instilled fear in the hearts of the Crusher Prado. Or no, that's the Commando Sombra. Right. I get the names confused easily. This little part here is actually pretty annoying, because there's something I found out, actually, that makes a lot of sense now that I think about it, but I didn't realize it at the time. Bullet time in the Max Payne games works a little bit different than you might think. In Max Payne 1 and 2, it's pretty straightforward. You shoot a guy, kill a guy, you get bullet time, you can shoot and kill more guys. There's no more to it than that. When you get hit, I think you gain a little bit, and in Max Payne 2, you regenerate a little bit of it, like, automatically. But other than that, totally straightforward. Max Payne 3 takes all that and throws it out the damn window. In Max Payne 3, bullet time works on a much more generous system, actually, where shooting an enemy anywhere or taking damage anywhere will give you a little bit of bullet time, just tiny amounts at a time. So what you can do, and something I need to make use of in future speedruns, is don't go for headshots, because that earns you the least amount possible from one guy. What you can do is you can just fucking riddle a guy with bullets, just pump his torso full of bullets, really torture people, and just completely refill your bullet time, because you're hitting him more times, you see, and so you get the bullet time in little increments more and more. So I'm going to be doing that more frequently in the future. As gruesome as it is. Very, very gruesome.
Check this out.
A little late to be giving him his last rites, don't you think?
Look at this blackjack. This is high-end gear. These guys are seriously financed.
I like the way that Passos does the accented H.
We've still got a sniper
Like when he
on
said hi, he didn't say hi, he said hi.
One shoulder left.
Which, I don't know.
The money will be long gone.
I like the voice acting in this game is good. Sorta. It really ranges between good and not so good. Like, James McCaffrey, the voice of Max, masterful. He is fantastic. Some of the others, maybe not so good. Passos is good, but I don't like Passos. He's a jerk. I lose quite a bit of time on this little segment here because of that guy. Usually, he runs forward towards the stands, but that time, inexplicably, he decided to run backwards, away from all the action. Which, while it was a smart decision for him, was a little bit rude. Cost me quite a bit of time. Oh, I think I shot that guy in the neck. Ugh.
Whatever you say.
So yeah, this is the kind of situation where I would use an automatic two-handed gun. Because right now, all I have are dual pistols, and I can't use the dual pistols at the same time as holding the automatic gun, but I don't want to drop it because it's a bunch of extra ammo I would be losing. So, basically the gist of it is that you always want to have an automatic gun of some kind with you. And like I said in the previous video, here is an example of the game switching you away from your automatic gun to your single-hand gun, even though you were just holding it, which really sucks. I don't know why they did that. I mean, I know why they did that. It's because it makes animating it a little easier. But I really wish they had gone to the extra effort. Would have been very much appreciated.
I don't know. Looking for something that ain't here, I guess.
Here it comes. Here comes my favorite jump. I don't remember if I nail all the guys in this one or not. You know, maybe I shouldn't phrase it like that. Up. I like this jump, because they let you really take your time. Nope, didn't get them all. But hey, I got a cool trick shot on the way down. So there are situations where the game has you drop your two-handed gun anyway. Like, Max is going to use the sniper rifle up here in a second, so, like, I'm going to lose my two-handed gun, so I might as well just drop it. It doesn't, like... Oh, God! It doesn't, like, affect your movement speed any. And in fact, I'll touch on that a little bit later when I am sprinting around everywhere, but, it doesn't affect your movement speed any. It's just for convenience's sake, so that you don't accidentally switch to it. Now this segment is actually interesting. It's very easy to, like, lose different amounts of time on this. Because obviously, I mean, you can go into bullet time here, but it'll affect your aiming speed when you're aiming down the scope. So it's actually better to do it in real time. But the problem is that you have to lead your shots differently in real time, which can significantly affect your aiming. And if you let it affect your aiming, it will affect the time it takes you to get through this segment. And in real time, it can cost you quite a number of very valuable seconds. Which sucks.
That was too close. I'm getting inside before any more show up.
And clear, Max. Damn, bro. That wasn't fun.
Listen to me, you head for the chopper. We need to be ready to get the hell out of here. I guess I'll stay on the money.
Sounds like a plan.
If I were Max, I would just keep the sniper rifle. I just go around, you know, diving through the air, scoping in slow motion.
Just let me deal with this guy.
That'd be pretty cool.
All right, bro. I'm moving too. Stay in
There are
touch.
guns that have scopes on them in this game, but unfortunately Max does not use the scope while you're diving through the air. He just looks down the sights, which is a shame, to be honest. It's a wasted opportunity. Like, they could have put in a lot of fun achievements for that, like spinning around 360 degrees in the air and then doing a scoped headshot. They could have it be a commentary on achievements in video games. I don't know, something like that. So here comes that long cutscene again. The one I was pretty upset about last time. Because, there's no way to skip this. In the time since making that first video, I have done some more digging to see just how much Look at Max just holstering his gun in midair. Anyway, I have taken apart the game piece by piece using Open4 and a bunch of different hex editors and text editors, desperately trying to figure out where the code is that determines when cutscenes can be skipped. I was unable to find it, but what I did find is that this... I mentioned this in the last video, but this part of the level loads in the skybox and all that stuff. I talked about that in the last video at this same part. It loads in a very specific order because it has to be read in that order when it's on a disc, you know, when it's on consoles. And if you screw with that order, some very interesting things happen. I tried it a couple times, and I had to reinstall the game once because I messed it up real bad. But you can get the bits and bobs of the level to load in various different orders, and most of the time the game crashes. But other times, fun things happen, like Max spawning in midair, or Max eternally taking cover on an invisible object, being able to move but not see, or shoot, or aim. And then there was a very fun glitch that is actually very easily reproducible. I really suggest you look up a video of this, where it's just Max's legs with no torso and like floating, hovering guns. It's so funny. I think there's a video called like Suspenseful Pants at a Graveyard or something. I think it's called like Suspenseful Pants at a Graveyard Shootout, and it is so funny. It's just a bunch of characters' pants running around and meleeing each other. Just pants diving through the air. Oh, it's so good. And glitches like that are a result of the game loading things in the incorrect order. Because what it does is, like, say it's supposed to load, like, Max's hair, Max's shirt, and then the legs. Well, if it loads the legs first, it doesn't go back through the list, like to say, oh, it loaded the legs but not the hair, so go back to the top and make sure everything's loaded. It doesn't do that. It just moves on. So that's how you end up with just pants diving through the air in slow motion. Which is very entertaining. Although maybe that's just because I'm very easily entertained. Bam!
I don't know why I did it.
I gotta feel bad for Max here. Because, like, you know, I would have shot Tony too if I were him. I don't blame him for what he did, but at the same time, it would have been nice to have shown some restraint. You know, let the guys make fun of you. Who cares? Find a new bar to sit in and drink yourself to death. Although I suppose by this point he is half cut, so maybe he is not exactly thinking clearly. This little part, this chapter here is, again, pretty straightforward. You're just running forward and encountering the men, but this is how I describe this game to people who call it like a corridor shooter or similar. The game presents you with rooms. What happens is you walk through a hallway into a room, and the game puts a bunch of guys at one end and Max at the other end. And how you get through that room is totally up to you. In that sense, it is a corridor shooter, where there are corridors that lead into arenas, and it continues that way for the whole game. But what I will say is that the arenas they make for you allow for a lot of freedom in how you choose to play. You can take cover, you can roll around, you can dive in all kinds of different directions. You can try to flank the enemies and, get the drop on them. It allows for various interactions, let's say, that are, I feel, fairly nuanced. So that little segment there is pretty straightforward, but it's easy to lose a lot of time if one of the little AI bits decides to go in a interesting and unique direction and screw you over, let's say. Also, that guy shot me in the ass, and so now I'm half dead, which I'm very upset about.
I may have sat down and let myself burn right there.
So I was pretty concerned here, because, I mean, I've only got the one painkiller, and I didn't want to waste any more time than I had to grabbing the other ones. But, thankfully, that guy gets taken out before he can headshot me while I'm climbing the stairs. So, I kind of lucked out on that one. By the way, speaking of taking damage, I find these segments, where you're like in like a pre-planned flight path, to be very strange, because you can just get completely riddled with bullets. I mean, you saw there, like, Max's kidney just, like, exploded into blood, and yet, for some reason, like, I'm exactly as injured as I was before.
These were the wrecks you crossed the road to avoid.
Like, maybe, like, the power of slow motion makes Max invincible when he really needs it. You know, the power of fate allows Max to temporarily ignore all forms of damage. Like a fury mode in Devil May Cry or something.
Fancy seeing you here.
I like that Max is cracking off one-liners while he is, just shooting a million men in the head.
Way down to the street.
He's having so much fun, that Max Payne. By the way, for this speedrun, I have decided to wear the business casual outfit. I try to mix it up, you know, just to make something interesting for me to look at while I'm running around. Because, in New York Minute, you can pick any outfit that Max wears in the game, so I try to pick some fun ones. Like, you know, Max doing all this crap wearing a suit, or, you know, rolled up sleeves, dress pants. Max Payne dressed for either A, the office party, or B, a gang shootout in a car workshop. I am not your homie, Passos. I'm fine with the leather. This don't show the blood so much. So there's actually a way to get out of this level. If you bullet time dive onto those barrels that were on the left there, you can just barely make it onto the forklift that's on the right. And then you can bullet time dive onto the wall, and Max will stand up on the lip, and then you can just dive right over it and out of the level. Unfortunately, that does not help me, because these guys don't load in until Passos opens the gate, and therefore, you can't complete the level. But it's still fun to dive out of bounds and stuff. This chapter is a real pain, because you started off with...
So far, I'd managed to keep a low profile.
Wait a minute, I got this... That guy fired off a shot, but I still got the, hey, you did this stealthy thing, and I don't know why. But anyway, this chapter's a real pain when it comes to bullet time, because it comes and goes, it really does. Like, I cannot overstate how important it is to conserve your bullet time. Like, the bullet time you have is arguably more important than your health. Wow, look at that guy do a flip. Because if you do go into last stand mode and you have to kill a guy to get back up, you lose all your bullet time. So you want to be sure to go into bullet time whenever you are about to get shot at, because obviously Max takes way less damage in bullet time. So, like, it is important to conserve your bullet time for segments where you're gonna be, like, out in the open and getting shot a lot. Like right back there. There's really no cover, and the enemies can peek around the corners faster than your camera can get there and aim at them. So, it's pretty important to conserve your bullet time so that you can, you know, save it for those guys. Slow down their reaction time enough for you to get the edge. Look at that, one guy survived. One of these days I'm gonna get through this segment and kill all those dudes. Like, I don't know, one of these days I'll do it. And on that day, it will be a very lonely bullet time dive for Max.
I was in a cocaine factory, but I'd stick to the depressants.
So, you're gonna see me sprinting here, and pretty much everywhere in this speedrun. But I did a couple of long-form tests where I timed it myself. And it's funny, sprinting is actually not faster than just running. Like, it's not faster at all. If anything, it's a little bit slower, because Max turns slower, which, like, that is so strange to me. I mentioned in the last video that the sprinting is mostly a carryover from the multiplayer, and so is the rolling, actually. It's just that the rolling has uses. But, like, yeah, sprinting is actually not faster than just running, and I did not know this at this point. I recorded this actually several weeks ago now. I have done quite a few tests since then, of various game mechanics like the bullet time, and I found out some very interesting things about it, like mechanically.
I hadn't seen Fabio
Here's a weird glitch.
amount of time, but at least I wasn't following a trail of
Max just kind of got glaucoma for a minute there, but it cleared up. You know, chugging those pills really, it's like eating, like, super carrots. Genetically modified carrots that are even better for your eyesight.
I prefer to mix these.
So anyway, yeah. I'm still going to be sprinting here, even though it's not going to be super helpful to me. Again, blame my unawareness of the game mechanics. The rolling is definitely faster, though. Rolling up and down stairs. It's actually even faster to bullet time dive up and down stairs, but, like, I haven't got to the point where I can control my, like, bullet time conservation enough. Someday I'll fiddle with that a little bit more, but, like, the faster way is usually the more dangerous way in the Max Payne speedrun. So, like, you know, like, I don't want to donate 2 hours of my time to testing one mechanic on its own until I have had some time to test it out in a controlled environment via the chapter select in the story mode. And it does take time to, you know, like, confirm my suspicions about, like, is it faster to just fucking bullet time dive everywhere? The answer is no. And hey, my air conditioner just kicked on, so if you can hear that, I apologize. It's been a very hot past couple of days for, you know, fall. So I've been keeping my air conditioning on even when I'm recording. And again, I left a guy alive there to skip a bullet cam. You know, it is a shame, because I'm pretty sure that does cost me a second or two, you know, over time, but that's fine. It doesn't really matter.
Shit, more company. How much longer? I don't know. Right on top of us. Sure.
Again, I remain amazed at the sheer amount of dialogue they put in for this chapter. It is nuts. Like, every time I play this, they've got something different to say, and sometimes it's something I haven't heard, even in 300 hours of playing Max Payne 3. It's crazy. Like, they didn't do anything like this anywhere else in the game. Also, I made a boo-boo there. I forgot that the Molotov guy actually throws another Molotov before those dudes show up. So I was relatively sure that this was the end of this run. Because look at the damage on the boat. Like, it is only pure luck that I survived. So I'm going to be very careful for the rest of this segment.
We need to get past that decoy boat.
But unfortunately, there's nothing you can really do to speed this part up. So it is a shame. I like this chapter. It's just that I do wish they had skipped it. Like, just this part. Like, the boat segment. Because, you know, again, there's no way to speed it up, so why bother? You know, the time is going to be either the same or slower no matter what you do, so other than from a purely, like, technical skill point, you know, what's the point of having it?
Over there, man, over there. On it.
And there are a couple, like, teeny tiny little segments they do skip. For New York Minute Hardcore. Oh, excuse me, for New York Minute Hardcore. And
Get that started. We're gonna
it's
die.
very strange.
Swamp. Keep them off of us.
So to get past this thing, you can either shoot all the guys or blow up the tank. And I have found that it is actually faster to shoot the guys, but sometimes they do not play nice and show up when they are supposed to. So you gotta take matters into your own hands. I think that's probably the fastest I've ever blown those trucks up. Like, cause man, usually that takes me quite a bit longer. Oh man, this guy is an idiot. Why not turn? Like, you could have at least tried. What rotten luck that man had.
I got an idea. Hold on.
It is amazing the beating this boat can take. This boat is based off of a real boat. I don't even know the name of it. I did at one time, but this boat is based off of a real 2-engine speedboat. But like, you'd think they would have made it like an advertisement for like how much of a tank this thing is. I mean, like, look at it. All the glass is shot out. One of the engines is blown up. It's like riddled with bullet holes. Like, man, this is a very sturdy boat. Technically, Max, for it to be an armada, they would need numbers in the thousands. I would say that these men number in the hundreds at best. I guess they don't teach Navy politics in the police academy. Andale, hombre. This game needs more of Max speaking broken Portuguese. It happens once or twice, like at the start of like chapter 13, I think, where he's like, Diga Becker, que vim para ele, like that, like, and it sounds so ridiculous. I don't know. I really like the language barrier, to be honest. Like, it's a shame, actually, because one of the things that they really touted for this game, like, in the months leading up to it, was that the AI in this game is incredibly smart. And it actually is. The AI is actually very smart. They will take cover, they will try to flank you, they will use squad tactics, and if you play it like it's a cover shooter, you actually see quite a bit of that, and it's very interesting to see. Like, especially when they try to flush you out with, like, grenades and stuff. The problem is that they're all speaking Portuguese, so you don't know when they're talking to each other, or when they're telling each other to group up, you know? And it's such a shame, because it does show up in the New York chapters, but the problem is that they're just so short that you don't really ever get a good, like, piece of it. You know, you don't ever get a good example of the AI that they worked so hard on. And, like, enemies die so quickly that they don't really have a chance to demonstrate it. And they used this same AI system for Grand Theft Auto 5. So if you have played Grand Theft Auto 5, you probably have seen this at a much more extensive length. But yeah, this is the game where it debuted, and it's such a shame that the game's setting kind of fucked with it so much. But that said, I do really enjoy the language barrier. I think it adds a dimension of depth to the story, because you can sympathize with Max. Like, unless you have a Portuguese for Beginners book sitting right next to you, you're not going to know everything that the guys are saying, and even down to some of the main plot characters, like Becker in the first chapter. He is straight up talking about the Crasha Preto and the Commando Sombra, but it's not subtitled, in English anyway, and Max doesn't understand it, and you probably don't understand it either. But if you're paying attention, if you translate it yourself, or if you speak Portuguese, it makes a lot more sense, and you kind of accidentally spoil the story a little bit for yourself, which is very interesting. I think that a lot more games could use such an interesting little quirk. By the way, grenades. I was very scared of that grenade, because I was on half health, and grenades can kill you instantly if you are even the tiniest bit damaged, which is terrifying. And you know what's funny? I am actually amazed that I got the record for this, because, like, this is almost the worst I have ever done in this little segment here. Like, I have no idea how I managed to secure the record, because, like, this went so poorly. It's seriously crazy to me. I honestly don't know where I saved time on this, because the game keeps count of your time, and going in and out of bullet time would affect your real-time timer by a lot. So, you know, it's kind of pointless for me to do my own, like, splits for this, so I don't bother. But the result of that is that I don't really have any idea where I save time and where I don't, except by, like, how it feels. Like, oh, that felt like it went faster. Or, like, I pair the two videos side by side, and it's like, okay, that checkpoint went faster even with bullet time. So I did better there. And so, like, I think that's part of the fun for me, to be honest, is, like, I go through this whole thing, this whole journey, and I don't find out how well I did until the end. And for me, that kind of heightens the sense of pride I feel in it. Because, like, a lot of speedruns have very rigid split times, where if you don't get a gold split, you can't beat your record, and you have to restart. A lot of people have it down to an exact science, and I don't. I just play it by ear. And while that might affect my ability to, you know, keep count of exactly how well I'm doing in a given part of the game, it doesn't really matter. I'm just playing it for fun. The record is secondary. Oh, I shot that guy in the watch. Unfortunately, the watches are not strong enough to block bullets. They may work underwater, but they cannot stop a 9mm bullet, unfortunately. And again, they really could have just cut this part, because, like, again, you either have the same time over multiple playthroughs, or you lose time over multiple playthroughs. And there's just really no point in it other than, like, well, it's in the game, so we might as well put it here.
Look at me.
And to be honest, actually, I shouldn't be complaining about this, because this little segment is actually a very welcome breather between the constant action of the last chapter and the double constant action of the next one. So come to think of it, that might actually be why they kept it in for New York Minute Hardcore. I mean, you know, it is constant action, this game, but you need a little bit of a break every now and then.
The kid hadn't made it. Fuck. I had to make this quick.
No one would be rebooting his system.
Getting his gun was more than just expediency.
When I used to play Max Payne 3 on the multiplayer, way back when this game was still, like, kind of fresh, the multiplayer was very active. And I used to play as the IT kid, because, like, I really like him, I don't know. I just find him to be a really funny character, because he's got, like, a couple lines, but they're all good. Like, they really got their mileage out of that character.
Bronco is falling apart quite literally. Despite his manners, I'd done him a favor.
I just want to take a second to admire the detail they put into this level. You can't really slow down, because if you do actually stop, like, Max will start choking and then die. But the amount of detail they put into, like, the environment, like all of the trash, like, broken metal, you know, the burnt paper scraps and the glass shards falling down. It's all very, very interesting to look at. Like, even the fire looks really good, even though it's just like an animated GIF of fire put onto a triangle. Like, it still looks so good. Like, did you see that explosion? Like, that looked like real-ass fire. And it might be because it was actually fire, like a video of fire. This game uses Bink video to great effect, let's say. All of the Man on Fire like video effects, like those are all Bink videos that are layered on top of the screen, and they play, you know, when you go into bullet time or whatever. So hey, we got a run. This is where it gets hard. Not super particularly excited for this next chapter, but I did figure something out. If you aim your gun all the way over, you can shoot the bar guy, and then he won't be there to fire off at you. And again, immediately not going well. It's actually a little better to take this this little chapter checkpoint kind of slow, because it's very, very easy to get hurt here. Quite a bit, as you can see. Like no joke, I was fighting for my life here. Like, I felt like this run was going very well despite my screw up in the office chapter, and I didn't want to lose it to something super stupid.
Picky. This was clearly their turf, and I just shot up their favorite skin joint.
So that's my general tactic for speedrunning Max Payne 3, is like, stay alive first and foremost. Like, going fast is important, but Max runs at a preset speed, so there's only so fast you can go. So like, once you're just running at a good clip, you can pretty much forget about the going fast part. Like, as long as you don't stop moving, you are always going to be moving at the maximum speed. Unless that happens, and you get shot like Max got hit in the stomach with a football, because then you have to waste time getting up. And again, this chapter is just so difficult. It is a real problem.
I could hear a woman screaming. I thought I'd found Fabiana, but instead I'd stumbled.
I like that these guys immediately go for their guns. Like, they didn't know Max. Like, I guess he's in Commando Sombra territory right now, so I guess they wouldn't be explicitly friendly to him. But like, they could just tell him to leave. You know, like, what are you doing here, gringo? Get lost. Instead of just immediately pulling the guns out. So I'm still torn on this segment. Like, I have not figured out a faster way to do this than just grabbing the rifle and shooting all the guys. I really don't know. Because you can't dive out that window. I've tried that. Max just hits it like it's a wall. And that guy doesn't come out until you've killed a certain number of the guys. I'm not sure how many. So, like, I don't know. I really don't know how to do this faster. But when I figure it out, it's going to shave off quite a bit of time, because you have to just kind of hang out there. Just kind of have to sit there and hang 10 while guys filter in, and that takes up a lot of time. Check out the steam coming from that pipe that I shot. How cool is that? Now, skipping the bullet cam there might actually be beneficial, because that guy is around the corner, so Max would turn around if you kept running during the bullet cam. So skipping it means that you don't have to turn around while Max is running, which I think might save you enough time for it to be worth skipping.
My arrival in that part of town, I'd drawn more than enough attention already.
And if I needed extra bullet time, I could kill those guys, because they don't come down from there. You can just keep running. But I didn't really feel like I needed it that much. Hey, Claudio. See you later, Claudio. To be honest, I think the AI in this game is a little bit too smart for its own good. Like, for like random hood rats, these guys are fucking expert marksmen. Like, man, these people have good aim. Ouch. There goes Max's entire torso. But yeah, I talked a little earlier about how I like the intelligent AI they programmed in, but at the same time, I actually think it's a little bit too smart. Because it's smarter than the player. That, I think, is the line. You have to make an AI system that is smart, you know, intelligent, and quick thinking, but not smarter, faster, or stronger than the player is. Because when you make it stronger than the player, you've got stuff like what you'll see here in a minute, where the enemies can shoot me faster than I can even see them. Because this game doesn't really account for human reaction time in how the enemies work. So, like, if an enemy's okay, this is gonna sound really stupid. If an enemy's gun can see you, they can shoot you even if they themselves can't see you. So, like, if there's an enemy peeking around a corner and the gun is pointing at you, they will shoot you, hit you, and do damage to you, even though they can't logically see you yet. And that is why I think the AI in this game's a little too smart. It's because they can do that. Which sucks. I have died many times because of that. And it is a real pain in the fanny. This segment is always a nail biter. What I've learned, I have learned now that it's actually beneficial to like run past as many of these guys as you can, because once you get to here, Max is invincible right now until you shoot that rocket. So if there's guys firing at you, you can't get hurt by them anymore during that little part. So like if you just run by them, then it's not a big deal. It's just a matter of if you get shot, you know, when you're running between them and that little cutscene, then it becomes a problem. Here Max is very inappropriately dressed for warm weather. Did you see that roll?
We'd be in a slightly better position to handle this situation.
Did I just say warm weather instead of cold weather? I think I might have. I actually wasn't paying attention to what I was saying because I was like preloading. I was like preloading the thing about the cold weather in my mind, like as it was coming out of my mouth. So like I didn't pay attention to the words. I just said them.
I knew I shouldn't have gone there, and that Passos might have.
I'm a rambling guy. That if you're coming here from watching the previous speedrun video, which has at the time of this recording about 12,000 views, if you're coming here from there, you probably already know that I am a rambling gentleman. But I think I provide more interesting commentary that way, because I come up with a lot of fresh, interesting things to say. I could talk about this game forever, you know, and just go off on whatever subject I think I can, you know, get away with talking about for an extended period of time. Like I believe last time, I went into this guy with the grenade launcher here, and why he has that, and where he could possibly have gotten it. And it's like, I'm still wondering, like, was it perhaps passed down through the generations of mobsters? Just this man and this grenade launcher. They had a long-lasting friendship, you know? In his early days of becoming a mafioso, the grenade launcher kept him safe, you know? Anytime anybody threatened the guy or, you know, threatened to put him 6 feet under with cement shoes, in the New York Harbor Bay or whatever the hell, you could just point the grenade launcher at him. And they'd be like, okay, man, only suede shoes for you, no cement.
Lots here weren't cheap.
I still wonder.
I'd take a freebie.
Let's go.
I hate this checkpoint. I really, really hate this checkpoint. This checkpoint and this cutscene. Because what was their plan? Like, did they just kind of count on the guys not turning around? Why is Max staying here while Passos is sneaking ahead? I just don't get it. Like, look, they're like, Max is like, hey, you go over there and don't get shot and die. But he's going where there are guys looking. Like, I don't get it.
We'll work it out together.
I really just don't get it.
Cuz, how long we been doing this? I'm not giving no handouts. Not asking for a handout. We're out here.
I don't remember if I mentioned this in the previous speedrun video or not, but you have to dive here. You literally have to dive here. Because if you don't, that guy with the shotgun that I shot first, he will shoot and kill Passos before you can kill him. If you don't dive, he walks forward instead of backing up, and he gets behind the statue where you can't aim at him. And that is the most annoying thing in the world, because then Passos dies, and you lose not because of your own lack of skill, but because Passos got shot. And that is just grueling. It's so painful.
They had us split up, the more chance they had of picking us off.
I hate it. I hate that Passos can die. It's so annoying. Oh, Max. That is not a very nice place to shoot people. Again, this is one of those arenas I was talking about, where they give you a big, wide open area, and they say, hey, kill all the guys in it, however you want. But I was running low on ammo, so I just decided to go single pistol for the time being. Because if you run out of ammo in this segment, you're pretty much screwed, because, like, there aren't any guns lying around. It's a graveyard. Now, I made an executive decision here. I was like, you know, I have full bullet time. I might as well try it. And so I went. I went for the way risky way. And it actually paid off quite handsomely.
Sure. Right up to the moment my head gets
I like that the dialogue repeats there. Also, that little pause there, that was me taking a breath. Because I was scared. Like, oh man, like I was hyperventilating just a little bit.
Gotta move again. I'll give you cover. Wait on me. Shit, Max, I got you covered.
Oh man. Unfortunately, if you do that little skip, Passos does not cover you. The guy just continues to shoot at you. So, that scared me back into my cover for a second. And I lost a little time. I don't know, I was just scared, you know? Like, it was very frightening.
We'd come in here to hide, not very successfully as things turned out.
Freeze!
At least he's honest about it, you know? At least he didn't, like, embellish his own story, like, oh, we were such super cool guys. I dived in there and shot 5 of them, but, like, there were 5 more, so we got captured. No, he's just straight up like, well, we tried to hide, but it didn't work. They hid better.
Hold it. That way, you fucking jokers. Move.
That guy is a professional. He wore a suit. You got all these guys running around wearing coats, jackets, scarves, and then you got these guys just straight up wearing suits to Max Payne's execution.
You killed my son. You killed my fucking son.
I don't care, Mr. DeMarco.
Your body ain't gonna bury itself. Dig, motherfucker!
This part sucks. Because this part, it's very easy for that thing I said earlier to have happen, where, like, a guy can shoot you before he can even come into view of you, or vice versa. Like, that is, like, the easiest place for that to happen. And thankfully, I avoided it by being, like, super light on the trigger, but, like, sometimes you just get shot in this game, and there is no rhyme or reason to it. It's not your fault, there's nothing you can do, it just happens. And it is a max pain. It is maximum pain.
Hey, this way. Up there. Go on. Go, go, go.
I wonder if Max is short for Maxwell. Do you think his name is just Max?
This place looks about as good as any.
I bet there's official... You know what? I'm going to look that up
The coroner won't have to go
while this video's going. I'm going to look it up on the Max Payne wiki. Max Payne is an American police detective who goes on a violent, rogue, nearly unstoppable, tenacious, and relentless killing spree against felons spanning a number of nights, all while looking for truth to mysteries he finds in his life, mercilessly bringing death to all those who ever caused him pain. Wow. The Max Payne wiki sure paints a nice picture of the guy. Raised during the 1970s, the son of Jack and Helen Payne, Max had a troubled background. His father was a drunk who often beat his wife and cheated on her, leading to her death in 1976. Jack himself died in 1979, leaving Max an orphan. Holy crap! Well, I guess now you know the tragic backstory of Max Payne. The dude just has a shitty life. Just a really shitty life in general. Wow. That information, by the way, comes from a series of comics that were posted. They also had physical versions, and I wish I owned them, but they were very limited print, and I did not get any. A series of comics posted in the lead-up for Max Payne 3 that basically told the story of what happened after Max Payne 2 that led to Max being in the bar in Max Payne 3. Right there, did you see it? I got shot before I even turned the corner. So ridiculous. But yeah, they posted a series of comics called, like, I don't know, like, it's on here somewhere. Yeah, it's called Max Payne 3 After the Fall. I suggest you read it because it's actually pretty good. Like a kind of Sin City kind of thing going on. You get it? Because, like, Max Payne 2 is called The Fall of Max Payne, and this is After the Fall. Max's back takes a lot of punishment.
I was still alive, and still not all that happy.
I don't know, I just felt like pointing that out. Like,
maybe I thought I didn't deserve
like, Max is an old man at this point. He's what, in his 50s? Like, he's not a young man anymore. Like, he has to have several metal vertebrae at this point. Wow, that shot of his butt! What a wonderful camera angle. I like the rain landing on his head. He doesn't even care. He's just sweaty all over at this point.
Jesus Christ, these bastards weren't playing games.
So it's funny, Nova Esperanza the favela, the poor neighborhood, the slum we are in right now, is not a real place. But it's funny, critics of the game, people who reviewed Max Payne 3, actually thought it was a pretty faithful recreation of slums in Brazil, because they're not this bad, but they are really like this, where people live in houses that are literally made out of like tin roofs and like shitty wooden panels. Like the wage gap in Brazil is so fucking crazy that like the whole thing where Max is like, oh, the view of the poor, like, looking down on the poor from your mansions and whatever, like, that's not entirely inaccurate. Like, it's actually pretty fucking crazy. Like, if you look it up, when I did my Let's Play of Max Payne 3, I actually looked up some information on it, you know, just so I could have some stuff to talk about. The situation is pretty dire. Again, this is an exaggeration of the whole military state kind of way that, excuse me, things are run there, but it is gangland. It really is. If you live in a first world country, be fucking glad you don't live in Brazil.
I'd gone from out of luck to unarmed and shit out of luck. Another reminder, not that I needed one, that any low point can always...
So this is that super long cutscene again. I don't really have a lot to say. Jesus. I don't really have a lot to say about this cutscene. Because again, no way to skip it. You just kind of have to sit through it.
I decided I might as well follow them.
Man, I'm just looking at pictures. I'm looking at pictures of Sao Paulo right now, and they did a pretty good job of recreating it. Like, goddamn. There's like this. There's like, okay, if you just look this up on Google, if you just look up Sao Paulo, Brazil, there's this amazing shot of the city from above, and there's this super tall, like, towering urban metropolis with, like, you know, skyscrapers and, like, big-ass buildings, giant pointy towers, sights to see, and lights everywhere, with this just gigantic, like, series of teeny little brick buildings, like a slum that is more than twice the size of the skyscrapers in the picture. It's nuts! Oh, man. These people being loaded into these buses to be sent off to have their organs, like, stolen by the military for money. That shit really happens, man. Oh, boy. But I won't bum you out with more talk of that. Instead, let's talk more about Milo Rego and his buddy, shit. I don't remember the other guy's name, but it's funny. They have like the most like bittest of bit parts, and yet they are the most unique looking characters. Like, look at Milo Rego's face. What the hell happened to his face? Well, either way, he's dead now. Oh well. Ugh, that was a really nasally ah well. I'm sorry. Sorry about that ah well.
Get down. Stay out of sight.
So, in the time since the previous video, I have discovered a much, much faster way to do this chapter, which you will see relatively soon. And I'm actually glad I got the kill on that guy, because that shotgun would definitely have sent me sprawling to the floor, which is a very bad thing, because bullet time is very important for the way I want to go through this.
Oh, thank God.
You okay?
Yeah.
So, there's two ways to go about this checkpoint here. You can go all the way around the bus and like run around it in a circle to get to the guys who are now on the left side of the bus. Or you can just do this. I mean, without the part where you know, get shot and die. Without that part. It is very dangerous because the gas tanks can explode and so can the bus. But, again, it's a very risk versus reward situation because you save a lot of time running back to Giovanna.
We'll be fine. We just gotta lay low till Passos gets here.
This wasn't looking good. What the hell were Giovanna and Marcelo thinking going in there by themselves? Guess
I don't know why they do that.
more idiotic than
Like,
mine.
Max says,
I
like,
couldn't really fault them for
oh,
making
we
a
just
fake
gotta lie low
outfit.
till Passos gets here. But they don't. Like, you could go back there and hide. I mean, I guess there's bodies, so you need to, like, go a little bit farther away, but still, like, Passos has a chopper, and if you go inside a building, he won't be able to reach you. So why go inside a building?
I'll see if I can lower it down.
Like, if there were guys over here, surely there will be guys inside, right? Like, it's only kind of common sense. There's Max's gun floating again. I don't know, I'm not much of a writer, so, like, maybe I'm not one to critique the story of Max Payne 3, but, like, Max is not making the brightest of decisions here. Man, that floating gun.
Well done. Stay close and keep quiet.
Usually they are able to avoid that by having the gun, like, despawn, but there are a couple outfits Max wears that have gun holsters, like, programmed in, like his tropical shirt one, and like where he's just wearing the A shirt, those, and they can't just vanish the gun because then it would look silly when you're wearing the proper outfit, so they went the opposite direction and had it look really silly when you are already breaking your immersion by having Max dive around Brazil wearing a business cash outfit. I don't blame him. Also, I'm almost out of ammo, again, so I am getting pretty nervous. I've got no ammo, I've got no bullet time, and I'm just not having fun. Actually, I am having fun. That's something that I really should emphasize while I am talking about the fun factor of this, is that I really enjoy this. Like, this game is so good. And, like, it's just, it feels great to, like, run around at, like, lightning speed and shoot all these dudes. Because they are dangerous, you know? They can kill me just as fast as I can kill them, so I have to be faster. And, like, it's that challenge, I think, that makes this very rewarding.
Are you okay?
I think so. There must be a way to drop those
Because
stairs
there's
down.
no real, like, oh, you jump out of bounds and then you can just run and skip the whole level. Like, there's none of that in this game, that people have bothered to find anyway. And so, like, it is purely based on your skill as a player, you know, and not based on your technical skill when it comes to, like, skipping parts of the game.
I'm begging you. There's someone down there.
And so that's why I find it so rewarding. So, I believe last time I dove off of the railing, but it's actually way faster to just go down the stairs, because, you don't land, like, in front of the bus,
Day had
so,
started with us hiding
all
in
the
the
guys are, like, right in front of your view.
Progressively worse. My luck was running true to form. Or rather, I was running true to form.
And I mean, Max is right. It's like, with Max's life, there are two ways things can go. There is either the good way, or the bad way. And Max just seems to be on the wrong side of the coin toss at all times.
Not safe. Come on.
Which is a real bummer for him, let's say. Look at the floating gun.
Max.
Quiet.
you're the one breaking in.
No, that's Metal Gear.
You're the one breaking in.
Her name is Giovanna, Max.
Get a leg up.
Look at Max's veiny arms. I wonder if James McCaffrey has, like, super veiny arms. Like, is James McCaffrey, like, this, like, fat buff? That's what Max is. He's got a dad bod, where he's, like, not fat, but he's also, like, not super muscular. He's just kind of, like, stocky. So he's, like, fat buff. Like, he doesn't have a six-pack, I'm sure. But also, he probably doesn't have, like, a super beer belly kind of thing going on. Even though he looks like it. He's weirdly proportioned, that Max Payne, and it makes me wonder if James McCaffrey is actually proportioned this way. Does James McCaffrey have a dad bod? These are the questions. Oh, Max. These are the questions that science asks. Or that, you know, C. Jacobs asks. What? You saw that, right? The insane ridiculousness that just happened? Oh my god! Oh no! Oh, this past 30 seconds of video has been such a roller coaster for me. Oh, that was messed up.
Ever driven a bus before?
Of course I haven't.
Ever shot anybody?
No.
Well, it's drive or shoot, sister, and right now, I reckon I'll be better at the shooting. Come on, you can do this.
Max is a clever guy. He knew the answer to both of those questions would be no.
Listen to me.
But it does make me wonder. What if she said she had driven a bus before? Like, oh yeah, I drove a bus before. It was my college job.
Relax. You can do this. Ready?
Like, would he be like, oh good, because I was about to make a joke about that. You know, I've never actually bothered not firing a single shot in this segment. It makes me wonder what will happen if you just straight up don't shoot. Cause like, the bus doesn't take very much damage. So it makes me wonder if it like builds up. Well, I guess you have to shoot the guy with the rocket. I imagine that will kill you instantly, but like, I wonder if you can get through this segment just like not even shooting anything. Oh yeah, he's got blood and guts just spilling out of him, but he is just destined to fire that rocket no matter what. So did you, Now I advise you to go back and rewind there and watch that little part where the bus crashes into the blockade, because you might have noticed that the bus like blinks in and out for like literally like 1 or 2 frames, just boom, and it's like back. That was actually them despawning the unfucked up bus and spawning in the fucked up bus that you're seeing now. The bus has 2 models, one for before it gets sideswiped and one for after, which is kind of cool actually. It's cool that technology has progressed enough that they are able to do that and have it be practically unnoticeable. I bet you didn't notice it. Like, not even like, you know, like 10 things you didn't notice about Max Payne 3. Not even in that kind of way, but like it's such a subconscious thing that you probably didn't even acknowledge that it happened, even if you did notice it. Like, you probably didn't acknowledge that it had a purpose behind the scenes, which is something that I find really fascinating about video games, is that they can do that kind of stuff. Stuff that would be insane if it happened in reality, obviously. Stuff that, like if a bus just, like, vanished out of existence for half a second and then teleported back in, nothing would ever be the same for humanity after that. Especially if it was caught on video somehow, or something like that. Just like some weird temporal anomaly caused a bus to vanish into another dimension, beyond human understanding. Like, if that happened in the real world, that would be nuts. But this game portrays such a stylized version of reality that even if you did notice the bus going blip bloop, like just blipping in and out, even if you did notice that, it probably wouldn't spoil it for you. It probably wouldn't keep you from saying, this is like a real world, where real people live. And I find that to be so interesting about video games, that they have that power of immersion that, like, surpasses that of, like, real life. And movies do this too. And, like, I don't know, it's that magic that I find to be just very, very interesting. I could really go on for hours about it, because, like, I really could gush about this game, because I think this game really nails its atmosphere. Like, it knows exactly what it wants to be, and it goes for it, like, full stop. And I think they do a fantastic job of it. And hey, look, I got through this part without being damaged. I mean, besides my toes, but whatever, that doesn't matter. This is, again, this is the scary chapter. This is the one where it's like, oh god, everything's gonna go horribly wrong. Jeez. Now, thankfully, the AUP, the guys we are shooting at right now, they don't often wear bullet vests and like helmets and stuff. You'll only see a couple of guys wearing vests and like body armor, so like shooting them in the torso is an acceptable way to kill them, which definitely saved my bacon more than once in this chapter. I don't know why they have you do this. Again, it's just busy work. I think I said that last time too. Is that it just feels like busy work.
Stale margaritas and greed. So this was the famous Panama Canal. We could have gone to.
So I found out that you don't have to kill those guys. They don't come down from where they are up there, so you don't even have to. You can just run by them. By the time you get up there, they will be gone. See, like there. In order to kill that guy before... Nope, wrong door, Max. In order to kill that guy before he shot me, I had to start firing before he came around the corner, so that the bullet would intercept him in mid-emergence, which is so dumb. But I guess it worked, so maybe it's not that dumb. You can also get through this part without killing most of the guys, but I'm like, I've only got one painkiller, so I don't want to risk it. Like, this run was going so very well that I was like, please, no.
A ghost ship in a ghost canal. The whole thing creeped me the hell out.
The best case scenario, which I tried to do there, but I don't think I shot it enough, is to blow up that truck. You really just want to make the truck explode, because it will kill most of the guys over there, and then when the second wave of guys spawns over there, you will have less to deal with. And this is just a mess. This is just an absolute mess. I don't know how I lived. I really don't. I'm so surprised that I survived this part, because it just went to absolute dog shit. Those guys can shoot you before the door finishes opening too. I guess they can see your feet from like the angle that they're at. I don't know.
I had to save some valuables.
And in my practices, I found there were a couple painkillers over there, and you don't lose much time by grabbing them, so I figured, hey, I might as well.
I was fighting my way through.
Hey, Passos!
There was some equipment
Fuck
in the
off.
truck next to me. It'd be a shame to see it go to waste.
And again, this is yet another segment where you are leashed by Passos. If you go too far ahead, they will kill Passos in a cutscene, and then you die and you lose, which is sad. It really sucks, actually, because, like, if you could cut this part short by, like, just running ahead, you could save a lot of time. Also, Passos shouting in slow motion is pretty funny. Also, Max did, like, a crazy thing with his arm there, so, like, I kind of screwed that up, because, like, I didn't expect him to turn his body, like, 360 degrees.
I'd been the cabaret act.
I said this in the previous video, but Max always points his gun arm towards the camera, like, no matter what. No matter what insane, crazy angle his body is flopping around at, Max will always try to point at the crosshair. And sometimes that leads to some very, very silly looking animations, which is very funny. So, I have been putting this off for quite a while. I've actually had this. Let me check when this file was made.
Something to help me adjust to being back on land.
This file has been around since August. Like, it's actually been longer than a number of weeks. It's actually been a month-ish. A month or and a half-ish. But, like, yeah, I've been sitting on this for a while because the issue with speedrunning Max Payne 3 is that it is a long speedrun. I'm going to apply for Summer Games Done Quick with speedrunning the main game instead of New York Minute Hardcore. I'm going to apply, and I doubt I'm going to be I doubt I'm going to make it in because I don't have very many, I don't have a huge following, first off. And second off, this game is a long speedrun. 2 hours in real time is like New York Minute Hardcore. With the cutscenes that you can't skip from the story in the normal mode, you're probably looking at 2.5, maybe 3 hours even, if the number of story cutscenes is really that long, you know. And so I think for that reason, I wouldn't be able to make it into Awesome Games Done Quick or Summer Games Done Quick. And that is part of the reason that I've been putting off doing commentary for this, is because I have to set aside 2 hours out of my day. You know, there's 24 hours in a day, but I've got stuff to do, man. I'm a human being with priorities. So I apologize that this has taken so long to come out, because, you know, I'm not an especially busy person. It's just that it is a commitment to sit down and do all this commentary. And you have to be in a specific mood, you know, to be entertaining for 2 hours straight. And it's harder than it seems, actually. It surprisingly so. I really actually, until I started doing more long-form videos like these videos, and live streams, and my upcoming Bloodborne series where I do a bunch of extra bonus stuff at the end of all the episodes, until I started doing this stuff, I didn't realize how much of an endurance test it is. Because up until now, my longest video was probably an hour or so, outside of live streams, which I could go forever with those if I have, you know, alcohol. But it is a commitment, and coming up with new and interesting stuff to say for 2 hours straight is a hard sell, let me tell you. But I've found that just sitting down and just doing it is
Side of that door.
probably the best way. Just go for it. Just wing it. I can't prepare a 2-hour-long script for a video like this. So hey,
Get him out of here. Go.
you know, I might as well just watch Max do his thing and say whatever comes to mind.
Serrano. He looked pathetic. A man defeated. I walked away and left him to his own personal nightmare.
I like that Max doesn't hold a grudge against Serrano. Serrano is a terrible person. He is a thieving,
Whatever hell
conniving,
this was to Silver
murdering
and
gangster.
Silver, too. I knew I had to put an end
But
to
when
it.
you and your buddies are about to get your organs sold on the black market, you know,
I had no
maybe
choice.
a little bit of sympathy is probably for the
I
better.
didn't understand everything, and I never would, but I understood enough. Sometimes a complicated problem is best tackled with a simple solution.
I honestly like that the story leaves just enough to your imagination. Like, they don't really ever tell you what the Crash of Prado are doing with the organs. Like, what I assume is that they're selling them on the black market for, you know, whatever reason. Seedy underground kind of stuff, off the books, all that stuff. But they don't ever really explain to you what they're doing. And like Max, I like that they have Max outright say, I didn't get the whole picture. Because like, that way the player knows that they didn't miss anything, you know? Because in a lot of video game stories, there are some things where it's like, if you blink, you'll miss some pretty important exposition, and then you'll be kind of lost because you missed a single little detail. But Max Payne 3, it tells you, like, straight up, don't worry about it, because, like,
Hell on earth.
you can piece it together, but you can't piece all of it together. You don't have all the pieces.
Too far now.
And I really appreciate that. I think that is a kind gesture by the writers. Some may call it lazy, and to an extent I would agree with them, but I also think it's kind of clever that they hang a lampshade over it, as the cliche is called these days.
What have you been doing here?
It's easy for you. Listen,
I love this cutscene.
They will kill you. I can help you. Trust me. Please, please.
What have you been doing?
I have a lot of money. Look. Lots of money.
James McCaffrey's performance as Max has kind of evolved over the years. I encourage you, after watching this video, to go back and play Max Payne 1 if you own it, or at least watch a video of it, because James McCaffrey very rarely yells as Max. Like, his narration in Max Payne 1, and to an extent 2, is very stoic. It's very, granite, let's say. Monotoned. And it's a stylistic thing. It's not for lack of a skill as an actor. It's the style they were going for is, again, the kind of Sin City, kind of like monotone
Enough.
narration, gravelly voice kind of thing. But Max Payne 3 has a lot more straight up, like, first-hand dialogue from Max. And I think that gives James McCaffrey a lot more room to shine as an actor. He's a good actor. Like, Max Payne is really the only thing I have seen James McCaffrey in, but, like, he does a good job.
With the devil.
So for this part, there are two ways to go about setting the dynamite C4. I thought I could jump over that railing, but you can't.
I'd seen some dark shit in my time.
You can do those two pillars in either order, and those guys will spawn whenever you put down the last one. So, like, what you can do is you can do the closer pillar last, and then the guys spawn closer so that you have an easier time shooting them. But I prefer not to, because either way you're going to have to run back. So if you do the run back while you're shooting guys, then you're being proactive. You're making progress. So I'm going to keep the sniper rifle here, because it allows you to kill the boss at the end of this segment in one shot, because it pierces through their armor. So I'm going to keep this for future reference. Also going to run over that ammo bag to get ammo for my pistol, because I desperately, sorely need it at this point.
The rest of those explosives, I had to do it.
And again, it's the same deal here. The guys will spawn whenever you put the C4 on the first pillar, so you can put it on whichever one. But in this one, it's actually beneficial to go for the farther away pillar last, because you don't have to walk back afterwards. There's no cutscene. It just goes to the next set piece. Which is good, because
That was the
saves
last
quite a
of
bit of time that
explosives.
way.
I just hoped it was enough to bring down the building and all the evil in it.
I like that line. I know some powerful people. Again, the voice acting in this game varies. I've never been able to do this consistently. It really just seems random. I like, the tremors are not random. They happen after you get to certain points in the checkpoint, or after a certain amount of time has passed. But Max's aim jiggles around randomly, so it's super crazy hard to get shots on guys. And again, we've got the sniper rifle, which means that I have to do this checkpoint with the pistol, which is easier said than done, because, like, everything's shaking around, and, like, it's not an automatic weapon. So, I just kind of angled the camera there to make sure I could see those guys. So, okay, check this out. Bam! One shot, one kill. That actually doesn't save too much time, because you'd be in slow motion anyway while you're shooting him, so it doesn't save too much on the clock, but it's still a lot easier. There's a lot less risk of dying or running out of time. Came up with a fun strategy for this segment, which is to, hey, just dive right at the guys, why not? Also, the reason I go in that room is because the door locks after Max shuts it right there. So, like, if you don't grab those painkillers, you lose your chance to get them, which is stupid with a capital, all the letters in the word stupid. Now, I accidentally shot that guy in the head, but he was about to die anyway, so I think I did him a favor. I gave him a more quick death with the pistol than his slow, painful death with the shotgun. So I think I'm still a good person. That checkpoint is pretty hard, because, like, there's just guys everywhere and there's, like, no cover. And you have probably very little bullet time to spare.
That kid had the right idea. There was no point bouncing bullets off that thing. I decided
I've
I'd try to
tried-
pick up where he left off.
I've tried so hard to video game my way through this
And I
part.
immediately regretted
Like,
that decision.
with the sniper segment in the graveyard earlier, I used bullet time to roll around the sniper's laser so that it couldn't target me. But it just doesn't work here. Like, there really is no way to lawyer your way out of waiting for that turret to stop firing. Because it'll just track you and you'll just die. It's so strange. So strange. That guy just dropped dead anyway. It's fine.
The perfect end to a perfect trip. If someone had told me 6 months ago this was where my life was headed, I'd have ordered a double of whatever they were drinking. shrunk it, then blown my head off.
I just want to note that I shot that man in the butt to death. That is an extremely painful way to die. I am so sorry. Something I found out is that if you go through this part fast enough, those guys don't spawn. But I was just a little bit too slow. So you can just skip those guys altogether if you are a quick enough man. Also, this checkpoint is just not going well. I lose a lot of time here. Because, like, I went down twice, I lost all my bullet time. It's just not good. I shot that guy in the ear. That's so brutal.
And of course, they were headed my way.
The laser sights suck. Like, I really hate the laser sights in this game. Anytime there's a gun with a laser sight on it, I just turn it off automatically, because, like, they are the worst. Also, that guy's body was blocking me from the button. So I had to wiggle him out of the way first, which is ridiculous. Now, in the last video, you may recall that I tried a strategy where I ran sideways into this room after shooting the window, and it did not work out. Well, this time it did work out, for reasons unbeknownst to me, because I did the exact same thing, and it still worked out fine. I don't know. I got crazy lucky there. I don't know. That guy is either extremely hardy or he goes down in like one shot.
I still didn't.
And there's like no rhyme or reason to it. It's so brutal. Oh, by the way, I have to give props to, let me look up their username real quick so I can give them proper credit. Oh, I hear thunder. It's going to start raining again.
Tear gas.
Reddit user Sarcastic Optimist posted this in the Speedrun Reddit, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Sarcastic Optimist. You are a cool guy. And I don't know if the Speedrun Reddit subreddit has self-posts. I don't know if you can make those there, because I know that some places on Reddit don't allow them. I don't know, I don't really use Reddit, so I don't really know what the rules are on posting your own content instead of, like, stuff you found. I don't know, but if someone could post this on that Reddit, that'd be super nice. I really appreciate that, because I don't know if I'm allowed to do it. I don't know what the rules are. This room went pretty well. Usually it goes a lot worse.
Hey, pal.
I still can't remember that guy's name. I know he has one. I'm gonna look it up. Max Payne Wiki. No, not Neves. That's the other guy. Bachmeyer. That's his name. His name is Bachmeyer. Cool. Well, now you know. Ow. I just hit my hand on my desk. Look at that! Did you see that? Luckily, he missed. That guy fired a shot before he was even in a spot where I could shoot him back. Oh, it's so ridiculous. They have the Ufe on like some kind of like crazy super steroids or something, I guess.
Still nothing to show for it. It felt like I was detaching, that maybe this was revenge for something else, something buried deep in the past.
Now here I am trying what I believe to be the only helpful, skip. You can skip almost this entire room by bullet time diving through that wall. If you get it at just the right angle. And I've never been able to do it. I watched a video of it, and I saw that it's possible, but I have never been able to pull it off. And I figured, hey, I'm making pretty good time, probably. I might as well give it a shot. And I don't know, I just couldn't do it. I think the problem maybe was that I was too close to the wall, so Max wouldn't dive, but I really don't know. Did you fucking see that guy's body? What just happened? Oh man, that man got hit with a lot of force, I guess. Ah! Sheesh. So I ran into a glitch here, where that guy that's supposed to come out didn't. And I was very upset at him. I don't know why. Maybe I cleared the room too fast for that guy to like load in, so they had to wait. I don't know, but either way, that cost me a couple of very precious seconds. At this point, my time to spare is getting very, very narrow between this record and my last one, which was only a couple of seconds slower than this. So like, I was not in such a great mood. Because like, I was cutting it very close at this point. Because I'm 10 minutes ahead of my first record, but I'm only a couple seconds ahead of my record that I set before this one. I set a couple records and I decided I'm going to do the best that I can before I record commentary again. Because again, it is a 2-hour commitment. And yeah. Now I believe this boss fight goes incredibly poorly. I believe. Whoa, did you just see Max freak out there for a second? Alright, so the fight with Bachmeier. I have devised a strategy, which is not to do this. Since recording the speedrun, I have devised a better strategy. That little glass furniture piece thing behind me, behind where Max is taking cover. If you take cover right there, Bachmeier cannot shoot you, unless you're like poking out. So like, if you're real careful, you can get him down really fast. Also, I am just terrified right now because one shot from Bachmeier will kill me. So like, I am just horrified. Bullet time diving for my life. And look at that. Look at how close I came to dying. It's insane. I'm not a believer in karma. I'm not a believer in fate, destiny, all that kind of stuff. I believe that the world just is the way it is. And I believe that it's not foolish to think of something preordained in our lives. Like, to want there to be a purpose to everything that we do. To the lives we choose to live, you know? The way you spend your time, to associate that mentally with, like, fate, destiny, some way of making it so that the way you spend your time seems important, no matter what it is. I don't think it's foolish. I think it's very human to feel that way. I just don't really agree. I don't really associate it with that. I feel that the way you spend your time is entirely your decision. You know, there's no mystical factor governing it. But I do believe that sometimes the universe gives you a little push. You know? Occasionally, something will happen that you can't explain. Something that genuinely is beyond your skill or your status as a human being. And it feels somewhat cheap to talk that way about me being good at Max Payne 3, you know? Like, there are much more important matters in our world than me being good at Max Payne 3. Much better ways that the powers that be, whatever they may be, or may not be, could spend their time. But I think that me doing this well, and gaining this popularity, I didn't just do it on my own. I think I had a little push. But damn, am I good at Max Payne 3.
Opened at the other end of the departure lounge.
Okay, that got a little silly there at the end. I don't know. I guess I missed a guy. Which actually is a shame, because that cost me like 10-20 seconds. And also, I'm almost out of ammo for the Deagle, which is not good, because that's the gun that Max automatically pulls out. But I do save a little time by doing this! I said it in the last video, but that is actually legitimately the fastest way to get down that escalator. So as I was saying before that awesome little set piece, it doesn't really matter though, whatever fate is out there in the universe. And I don't mean to get super existential over a speedrun of Max Payne 3, I'm sorry. But like, I guess my point is that even if the universe does give you a hand, you gotta be proud of your accomplishments. I'm extremely proud of this, you know? I'm extremely proud of the way this turned out, and the skill I've gained at Max Payne 3, and in everything I do, even if it's not, like, stupid video game related, you know? I guess that's all I'm trying to say, is that if you do believe in fate, destiny, that kind of thing, that's fine, that's good. It's good to believe in something like that. It's healthy, I would say. But you also have to be proud of the things you do and the things you encounter in your life. You got there and you did it yourself. And I find that to be very inspirational as a point of view. So, you know, that's just how I feel. I'm gonna stop talking about that now, because that's not what you came here for. You didn't come here for a lecture on my own beliefs and worldviews. But I do try to be an inspirational person. Follow your dreams and all that crap. And I as inspirational as it is, I hate this checkpoint. I hate it so much. God, this checkpoint sucks. Oh, these guys suck. Although I got through it a lot faster than I did in the previous video, which is good. I find that coming out of cover also, like, provokes the guys to come out of cover because they want to shoot you while you're out in the open.
It was perfect.
So I think it goes a little faster that way.
Ticket for the Max Payne Express.
So I haven't decided yet if it's faster or not to run just head on into the smoke, or to wait for it to clear so you can get a clear shot. Because basically when the smoke is there, you're pretty much relying on your crosshair turning red to, like, know you're aiming at the enemies. But it sure does feel good when you score a headshot through the smoke that you can't even see through. Thanks to the power of video games. Now I can finally ditch this deagle. I'm a big fan of the deagle, but automatic weapons are absolutely what you want for this coming segment. Here I am hyping myself up, doing some teabags, like, yeah, hell yeah, let's get this done.
This was my stop. It had taken me right into the heart of it. Becker's gimps were everywhere, so he and Bronco
Becker's
must be
gimps.
close.
Gimps? Really, Max? Must you call them gimps?
About smart moves. I'm a dumb move guy. Hey Max, we'll drive.
You remember all those times I made like Chow Yun fat? Those were dumb moves. I could have just stood still and shot the enemies. My back hurts. My back hurts a lot.
And it's too late in the day to hope for change. Boy, were they throwing numbers at this problem. But then I chose to be.
I guess Max chose a good outfit for it. The white shirt really blends in with the background.
And not much else. The further in I got, the more guys I saw. Becker wasn't running a police force. He was running an army.
Oh Jesus! I just burped. I hope that didn't. I hope that didn't pick up on the mic. What a way to end a speedrun is with a wonderful, energetic burp.
There the bastards were, sneaking off in their rich kid's toy.
I wonder if Max still does that little animation if you have a revolver. That would look very silly. Man, I just love that the final boss of Max Payne 3 is such a tough fight because he's a dwarf. I don't know, that is so funny to me. Now, if you're... what I try to do here is eliminate all the guys before they become a problem, but what you can also do is let them filter out, and then shoot Becker's grenade when it's close to the ground, and it'll take out all the guys. But I was very harrowed at this point. I'd been trying for this record all day, and I kept dying, so I was very, very ready for it to be over. And we're almost there. It almost is. Let's do it! Oh, what happened to the camera? Oh my god.
Here I was, about to execute this poor bastard like some dime store angel of death, and I realized they were correct.
It's not any faster to shoot Becker there. And actually, it kind of disrupts the story a little bit, because Max just kind of stands here looking now. But, like, it's not any faster, but it sure felt good. Because, like I said, I'd been doing this all day. I was very tired. But it was worth it. When I saw that record, man, all that effort I went to, definitely worth it. It's so cathartic to just be able to go crazy with your Max Payne turret. Silva's shitty sedan. Now what is actually faster to do is go into bullet time, because Max fires the grenade launcher faster when you're in bullet time, but hey, you know, forget it. It doesn't matter at this point. Oh. And so, with the explosion of this airplane, I have secured a 10-minute lead on the world record speed run for Max Payne 3. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, and for supporting my channel, and for supporting me. I'll see you when I improve on it. Goodbye, everybody.